It was in the mid of 1860s when the Scottish mathematician James Clerk Maxwell chose a pair of equations whose solution predicted that the electromagnetic waves can travel at a speed of light. And then after almost 40 years, in September 1899, an Italian scientist, Guglielmo Marconi, had made a wireless transmission from a ship in New York Harbor to the Twin Lights in New Jersey. So that was the first ever radio communication known to us. And it was the year 1946 when the mobile radio telephony was connected to the public switch telephone network in US. So that was the first ever mobile radio telephonic system used by general public with few limited subscribers. And in today, we have billions of cell phone users. Hello everyone. In this video series, we are going to discuss the fundamentals of mobile communication and networks. So let us start with the fundamentals of cellular concepts. The mobile radio telephonic system at the initial stage was of very small capacity. Only one transceiver station was used in a city. Then the communication was of half duplex type communication. Usually, a very high power transmitter was used which can cover up to a distance of say 80 km. Approximately 25 number of channels are used. The problem associated with this type of communication was that it was of very small capacity. In this example, we can see that if 25 number of channels are allotted to a system, then in this case only 25 number of simultaneous calls are possible. To overcome the problem of limited capacity, cellular concept was developed in Bell Labs that made a revolutionary changes in all types of wireless communication. According to these concepts, the large geographical area can be divided into smaller area or cells by using low power transmitters instead of using high power transmitters, and to reduce the frequency. To understand the principle of cellular concept, let us consider this example. In the first figure, we can see a total 9 channels are used to cover the whole area. So here a very high power transmitter is used to cover this area. In the second case, we can see low power transmitters are used and the geographical area is divided into some smaller cells or smaller areas. So here you can see that R1 is higher than R2. So here you can see in the first small area, channel number 1 to 3 are used. In this area, channel number 4, 5, 6 are used, and in this area, channel number 7, 8, 9 are used. Now we can use channel number 1 to 3 again in this particular area. Similarly, we can use channel number 4, 5, 6 again in this particular area. Similarly, channel number 7, 8, 9 also can be used in this area. And in this way, by reusing the channels again and again, we can cover the whole area. So here you can see in this area more than 9 channels are possible. However, here we can see only 9 channels are possible. Without using reuse concept, only 9 channels are possible or 9 concurrent calls are possible. However, by using reuse concept, more than 9 simultaneous calls are possible. Now let us see how to divide a large geographical area. Let us first define a term cell. It is defined as the radio coverage area by a single base station. That means to divide a large geographical area into multiple number of smaller geographical area or cells, multiple number of base stations are to be used. Now, what kind of geometry is to be used to divide a geographical area? We can use square division, we can use circular division, we can have triangular division, we can also have hexagonal division. So these are all basic geometrical shape by using which we can divide an area. Now let us first see the square division. So here you can see this area is divided into some smaller cells. Say this is cell 1, cell 2, like that. Again we can see circular division also can be used. Say this is cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, like that. We can use triangular division, we can use hexagonal division. Among these different types of cellular geometry, we can see in circular division there is a gap in between this cell. So this area will not be covered by the transmitter. So that is why circular divisions are not use. Let us compare the other geometrical shapes which may be used to divide a large geographical area into cells. Let us first define a term cell radius, which is the distance between the center of the cell and its farthest perimeter point. So here let us find out the area of the different shapes in terms of R. So let us first try to find out the area of the square cell in terms of R. Let us define the sides of the square cell as S. So this angle will be 45 degree. Now we can write S by 2 is equal to, so this length will be S by 2. S by 2 will be equal to R cos 45 degree, which implies S will be equal to 2R cos 45 degree. So that will be equal to 2 by root 2 R. So here you can see we can represent the area of the square cell in terms of R as 2R square. Now let us try to represent the area of the triangle in terms of R. So here this will be R and this angle will be 30 degree. So let us define H as the height of the triangle and this is the base of the triangle. Now we can write base is equal to 2 into R cos 30, which will be equal to root 3 R. We can also write H is equal to R, so this R plus R, this distance R sin 30, that implies 3 by 2 R, and thus the area of the triangle will be half into base. Area of the triangle will be half multiplied by H into B, which gives 1.3 R square. In a similar way, we can represent the area of the hexagon, that is regular hexagon, in terms of R as 2.6 R square. Now if we compare the area of all these geometrical shapes in terms of R, we can see that the hexagonal cell has the largest area. Since the hexagonal cellular cell has the largest area, so with a fewer number of cell, larger area can be covered as compared to the other geometrical shapes. That means fewer number of transmitter tower is required if we use hexagonal geometrical shape to divide the geographical area. So that is why hexagonal cellular shape is universally adopted. Let us define another term in cellular concept, that is reuse factor. It is defined as the rate at which the same frequency or the same group of frequencies can be used in the network. Or it can also be defined number of cells in a repetitious pattern. So here in this figure we can see channels 1, 2 and 3 are used like this. So here this is another pattern where 1, 2, 3 are used. This is another pattern where channel 1, 2, 3 are used. So here you can see in each pattern we have three channels or three groups of channels. That is why the reuse factor here is equal to 3. Let us consider another example. Here you can see a pattern like this. So here you can see the frequencies 1, 2, 3 up to 7. That is the 7 frequencies or 7 group of frequencies are used in one pattern. So that this is another pattern. So here n is equal to 7. In next video, we will have some more discussion on reuse factor. Thank you very much for watching.